So good afternoon, Tanners fans, and welcome back to Tanners TV. You join me alongside Sammy Moore, our new player manager. And firstly, we must congratulate Sammy for becoming the Leatherhead manager. So, it's great to have you down. Obviously, an experienced player like you. First, we will ask how the move came about.
Basically, my contract was up at Leighton Orient. Obviously, got a phone call off the chairman. Said, can we meet up? So when I met the chairman, told him my ideas for the football club. And he said he'd let me know in a couple of days. And on the Sunday night, I got a call to say I'd been offered the job. I was absolutely delighted. It was too good of an opportunity to turn down. I've obviously been in coaching for 3 years, so I've always had that burning desire to be a manager. I played under some good managers, like the likes of Roy Keane, Jim McGilton, Peter Taylor, Terry Butcher, Andy Essenthaler. The list goes on. So, when you're a player, you watch their sessions, you write your own bits down. How can you improve that? I thought the time's right. And listen, it's a great opportunity. It's got a great history with the club. So for me, I'm ready to hit the ground running. It's only been a week, but I've absolutely loved every minute of it. We've made some good signings. The key with the signings is, I want good lads in the change room. I want good people involved with the football club. And that's a massive part of how I want to do things here.
And being a player manager, a lot of people, obviously, it's quite obvious what it is. You play and you're the manager. But what's it going to be for you? Is it going to be more playing, more managing, or just a balance of both, really?
Listen, people have said that, but I spoke to Andy Essenthaler when he was player manager at Gillingham, and he's told me what works, what don't work. And for me, I'm going to play every when I'm fit. I want to be out on the pitch. If I'm not doing it, then I don't play. I know when I'm at it and I'm not at it. But my assistant is going to be massive. Steve Salis will be my assistant. So we've had a good discussion about things. How I want to do things. And when I'm playing, I'm a player. And then when I'm on the sides, I'll be managing. But I spoke to Steve how I want things worked. We'll speak before the game. But it's going to be a good partnership. I'm going to give me all to the football club.
Definitely.
I feel that I'm ready. I can make a big influence on the pitch with my experience. I still had league offers to go and play in the league. I had top end conference level players. So for me, the time was right. I'm hungry to be a successful manager. And the one thing when I was at Wimbledon is when I first signed, it was a family club, and that's what I want to try and create at Leatherhead. And for me, I've already had fans saying when Wimbledon haven't got games, when Leighton Orient haven't got games, they'll be down.
A lot of that.
So if we can get this place rocking on a Saturday afternoon or a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night, it's only going to stand us in good stead.
And going back to talking about Steve Salis, of course, he's a favourite at Leatherhead Football Club, it's fair to say. Lovely guy and everything. Have you started looking to add to your backroom staff?
Obviously, I've had a think. I mean, I'm always in contact with the chairman. So I don't want to rush. It's important that I do get my backroom staff right. But the assistant manager won't change. Because he knows the club inside out. He knows the players. He's been in this league last year. Obviously, I've been promoted out of this league with Dover. So I don't think the similar styles of the league has changed much really. And so for me, the backroom staff is key. And I'm going to take my time. I don't want to rush a decision. But I will add to it. But it's got to be the right fit. And similar with players, I'm not going to bring players in for the sake of it. They've got to be the right characters. They've got to be hungry. And for me, the signings I've made are top draw signings. They've all had higher offers in conference. But they believe in what I'm doing. And they're key. They're going to be key on and off the pitch. So for me, you know, I've loved every minute of it, and I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, and on to the new signings. Of course, you'll know how excited I was last night. Obviously, texting you about Candy signing, which is a fantastic signing for me. Obviously, Midson coming in, you know, a lot of people thought that was going to happen. It's fantastic, of course. You two obviously knowing each other very well. And well, what's your thoughts of all the signings really so far? Because they've all been a mix, really, haven't they?
Yeah. We'll start with obviously Jack. Obviously, you know, I know what Jack brings on and off the pitch. You know, he's a great pro. He's looked after his body. You know, when he hasn't been playing football. And for me, you know, I needed that. You know, someone who I could trust. And also, I know exactly. You know, playing in the right position, he will score goals.
Yeah.
He hasn't played in the right position for 2 years. He's played out wide because he's an honest player. He will do his job. And for me, he just wants to enjoy his football.
Yeah.
You know, he was probably one of the first signs I wanted to get.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make a statement and put that out there, because I know for a fact he'll score goals. If we give him the right service, he'll be in the right positions. And the players we've got in our team, you know, he will get that service. Yeah. And he will score goals. And you know, you can't beat a goal scorer.
Exactly.
They win your leagues. So you know, just for that reason, based on that, I know he's gonna deliver. Yeah. He's gonna be massive in the dressing room. He's a great lad. You know, we all love a bit of banter, but when our work starts, he's the first to say, "Come on, lads. You know, let's get going." And I think you need that balance. You need a good team spirit. Yeah. We got promoted at Wimbledon when we had a good team spirit. There was teams in the league better than us. But what we had was, we knew exactly what we was going to get from 11 people who wore the AFC Wimbledon shirt, and that's exactly what I require. The bare minimum of going out on a Saturday afternoon is giving your all. As long as people work hard, you know, they're doing the right things. You know, we won't go far wrong. And then obviously just touching on to Sean Cloesi. Yeah. You know how I got him was basically, he believed in, you know, what I wanted to do here. Yeah. I've had to. It was a tricky one, because he had top conference players, top conference team. After him. Yeah. But I know exactly what he brings. He can play right back. He can play right wing, and his delivery is probably one of the best deliveries I've seen in League Two, let alone conference, and let alone this level. So he's going to be a massive asset. He's quick. He's a grafter. He'll work hard, but you know, if we get the ball out to him, and you know, you'll see how good his delivery is. You know, once we get going, and you know, with the boys up front, they're going to get great service. And for me, he was a massive signing for us. Yeah. Because I know exactly what he brings. He brings a wealth of experience with him. Yeah. He's a great lad. Yeah. And for me, you know, a great lad is so important to the whole round package. Yeah. And for me, Sean's he's gonna be a big player for us this year. Yeah. He's played in big games before. He's been promoted.
And he also was, you know, Southend's Player of the Season, wasn't he, in 2013? Wasn't he?
So you know, for me, he's a massive signing, and his experience on and off the pitch is going to be vital to the younger ones, you know, coming through, because we will have a few younger ones in there. Yeah. So, you know, we've signed someone who's going to make a real impact at Leatherhead. Yeah. And one that, you know, people have already you know, texted me saying what a great signing. Yeah, definitely. So for me, you know, I was delighted to get that done, and you know, thank the chairman for, you know, we got that done pretty quickly. Yeah. And then moving on to Candy, I got a text last night of Candy from, you know, saying the Woking managers has basically represented, you know, basically said, you know, speak to him. Yeah. He's doing things right down there, and you know, when I spoke to Candy, and I said to him, look, he needs to go somewhere and score goals. And not only did the Woking manager ring me up about him, you know, I had five different managers in the conference say, listen, he's a player. You know, he's a real handful. He brings a different dimension to Jack. He's quick, he's powerful, he's strong, you know, and he score goals, and he'll stretch teams. And listen, you know, for me, you know, he's going to be, you know, if we can get him scoring, we can get him enjoying his football, he'll be a massive player as well. Definitely, yeah. And he'll be scoring goals. And the one thing we have got this season, we will create chances. So for me, you know, to get Candy so quickly, it happened in the space of 2 hours. Yeah. you know, for me, is a massive signing, because he brings something different to Jack.
Definitely.
Jack's more of a target man. He'll you know, from crosses, you know, Jack will be on the end of. But if we can get the ball into Candy's feet, and we can get him running down the sides into the channel, no one's going to catch him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And for me, you need that difference in any team.
Yeah.
So I'm really delighted I've got him.
Yeah, definitely.
There's stuff in his game, you know, I can improve.
Yeah.
And I said to every signing I brought in, and I said to people who's currently at the club, I said I'm coming in to make them a better player.
Yeah.
Things will be done properly. You know, everything we do on the training field will be geared around a Saturday afternoon or a Tuesday night. So listen, we've made some really good signings. You know, hopefully, you know, there's a few more to come.
Definitely.
But you know, there's still a little bit of stuff that we need to do to get them. But you know, I'm confident, and you know, I don't think you know, these three signings are good conference players. Don't get me wrong.
Definitely.
You know, they're top end conference players. So for me to get them in so quickly and get them done over the line and put them in a Leatherhead shirt, I'm absolutely delighted.
Definitely, yeah. And obviously, I used to work at Woking, funny enough, and I watched Candy. I remember when he scored that 96-minute winner versus North Ferriby on BT Sport. You can imagine what the stadium, it was alight. And he's definitely got a lot of energy. I noticed he's full of energy, and he has got a lot of strength. You know, he's not the tall lad like Jack or anything, but he's got a lot of body strength in, which is fantastic signing. Yeah. And it's great to pair him up with Jack up front, isn't it? And another question came in for the fans. Is about contract negotiations with the last season's players. Is that underway? Is there anyone particularly you think I've got to keep him, or you know, maybe you know we need to think about his? Is there any updates you can possibly give on that?
Yeah. I've spoke to. Literally, I got appointed on the Monday, so I spoke to me, the chairman, Duncan, and Steve Salis had a meeting. Yeah. We went through everything. You know, I've got Salis's thoughts on everything. So for me, I've contacted every player. Yeah. You know, so I've told the ones who I want to keep. You know, obviously, you know, some have come back and said obviously work commitments, which we're going to get. But listen, you know, they've all been contacted by myself. Yeah. I'm still waiting for some to get back to me. So it's a little bit of a slow burner. Yeah. But you know, they know my intentions. They know how I want to play. Yeah. They know what I want to do here. They know the signings I'm going to bring in. So for me, you know, everyone's been contacted. Yeah. So it's just a case now of you know, them slowly coming in. Yeah, definitely. And one of the questions, which is, you know, it's, you know, a lot of people talking about, is league-wise, position-wise, is what's your target? Is it playoffs? Is it, you know, security from relegation? What we're going for, really? Listen, we got to show some kind of ambition this year. You know, looking at it, past 3 seasons, and for me, you know, we've as a football club, I'm coming into, you know, can we hit the playoffs? You know, that's got to be our intentions. That's got to be our target. You know, anything above that, then you know, brilliant. But you know, our bare minimum. You know, I've always been an ambitious player. I've always wanted to play at the top, and you know, it's no different as being a player manager. We've got to set targets. We'll have little small targets. What we'll have every month. What we need to reach. I know a target. What will get you into the playoffs. But you know, for us as a squad and a team. You know, we need to have a target. What we focus on. Yeah. And our focus is to get into the playoffs. You know, how we do that, you know, we'll find out on a Saturday afternoon. Yeah. But we need to make sure that, you know, we will be prepared. We will have the opposition scouted. We will know exactly what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. We've obviously got the games filmed every game, which is a bonus. What most clubs don't have. Yeah. So for me, you know, all our players will have the knowledge to know exactly what the opposition strengths are, what they're good at, what their weaknesses aren't. Yeah. So for us, you know, we'll have all the tools for a Saturday afternoon. And listen, I want to focus on Leatherhead. I want to focus on not on the opposition. What we do well as, and we'll play to our strengths. And I'll make sure that, you know, come 5 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, we have 3 points. Definitely, yeah. And another question, obviously, we've got to go through it. Is obviously you were last playing at Leighton Orient / Dover, of course, on loan. Why did
a lot of people said, why did you drop this far? Is there a reason behind joining non-league and not going as a coach into the the football league? Is there any reasons behind it, or is it you want to get more involved in your M&M Academy more? Or even if it's is it Leatherhead Football Club, the name itself, really?
Yeah. Now, listen, I said before, firstly when I spoke, I've come here to, because I see it as a massive opportunity.
Yeah.
M&M, has allowed me to do it.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I've been a coach there for 3 years, and we've worked with some good players. We've moved them into pro clubs.
Yeah.
We've moved 12 lads from 6 to 16 into pro clubs.
Oh yeah.
So, for me, as soon as this opportunity come up, it was too good to turn down.
Definitely, yeah.
Listen, not every player wants to play at the highest standard, but there becomes a time when an opportunity comes along where you have to grab it with both hands.
Definitely.
And it's exactly the same here. I want to come here. I want to make an impact. I want to move Leatherhead forward.
Yeah.
And with my ideas, listen, there's no reason why we can't. Training wise, we're gonna train with a tempo.
Yeah.
We're gonna train as if how I've been coaching in the pro game.
Yeah.
I know you only get a couple of hours a night on a thing, but listen, trust me, we'll be well drilled. Everyone will know their jobs.
Yeah.
So for me, when people say, "Oh, you dropped down too low," but listen, I'm coming in to make an impact. Coming in to influence people. And I see this as a massive opportunity.
Definitely, yeah.
There's some good teams in this league. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You've seen Billericay spending money. So it's going to be a tough league.
Yeah.
And we've got to make sure that when we go out there, we give 100%. And
definitely.
There's bare minimums you require from every player.
Yeah.
And we've got good pros who will have in the dressing room who will make sure every person's at it.
Yeah.
And if we're at it most Saturdays, we'll win more games than we lose.
Definitely, yeah. And obviously Twitter went a bit mental, with the sign, you coming in and then Jack coming in and then Kennedy. I won't even bother looking at Twitter. It's all going to go mental later tonight. What's your response? The fact that the fans, they've been tweeting you non-stop, really, isn't it? Saying, thanks for joining us. What's your thoughts on the fans, really?
Yeah, no, listen, I can't thank the fans enough. They've shown me great support since I've come in.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone might say I'm a little bit too young to play a manager, but listen, I've done it once as a player, and I tend to do it again as a manager.
Definitely, yeah.
I've got that desire, I've got that enthusiasm. I work day and night to make sure Leatherhead are successful.
Yeah.
My missus now's going mad because I'm always on the phone, but listen, I intend to make sure that, I want Leatherhead to move forward.
Definitely.
It's got great potential. It's in a great catchment area to attract players, and for me it's a no-brainer. And the fans have the support I've had on Twitter, people ringing me up, obviously saying how I hope you do really well, good luck. Yeah. So for me, I want to try and repay them fans back onto the pitch and repay them with the signings we've made. Listen, it's only going to get better, trust me. Yeah. We've made some good links with AFC Wimbledon already. Fans have want to come down, so the gate should increase. Leyton Orient fans, so these are people who support other clubs, but actually see what we're doing at Leatherhead and want to be part of it.
Definitely.
And that's testament to the chairman. That's testament to all the fans. So for me, I want to bring the good times back to Leatherhead. Yeah. I want to get the place rocking on a Saturday or an evening game. And listen, one thing for me is that I'll give me all. Yeah, whether definitely. I'm successful or not successful, the one thing I'll give is, I'll make sure that every team I put out there will give 100%. Definitely. And that's the kind of player I am. Yeah. And that's the kind of manager I will be. Yeah. So for me, I think this year I'm going to change it after games. We'll have players into the bar because I think that sort of side of things is important. Yeah. I did that at AFC Wimbledon, and that united between the fans and the players is so important. And if I can, just little things like that, we're going to change, which is only going to help the whole football club move forward. Yeah. And if we're all singing on the same hymn sheet, then we'll all get the same success. Yeah. And that's what I intend to do. Yeah. And
last thing we're going to say is, obviously, it's been great that for me personally to announce all the new signings, get all the quotes from you and everything. Is that something you want to keep striving to do it and give the open up your thoughts, the players' thoughts, and everyone's really thoughts on each other, rather than keeping quiet within the club? Do you want it to be expand outside of the club? As in, what I'm trying to say is, do you want all the signings and all your kind of thoughts and everything told outside of the club? Which is a positive thing, I guess you could say.
Yeah. There's obviously some information you have to keep quiet, but obviously signings. It's important that the fans know exactly what's going on. Yeah. The one thing I don't want to do, and I haven't done it at other clubs, is bring players in and first day of pre-season you see them out there. It's important they know who's coming in, because listen, they might not be a Leatherhead fan, but they follow them on Twitter.
Definitely.
And they see the signings coming in and they want to be part of Leatherhead.
Yeah.
So for me, it's important that we give enough information out to the fans. But there is some information you need to hold back.
Yeah.
But the signings is one that I want to tell the fans. Listen, we're going to be a good side next year.
Yeah.
These players I'm bringing in a good Conference League 2 players. And the one thing I want to do is they need to do both parts of the game. They need to be good with the ball, and then they need to be good without the ball.
Yeah.
Because it's all right going forward, but you need to be good defensively.
Definitely. Yeah.
So for me, it's exciting times at Leatherhead.
Yeah.
It's exciting times for me because it's a different role. But listen, I've loved every minute of it, and I want more of it.
Yeah.
Once you sign 3 good players, you want to bring more in.
Yeah.
Listen, let's not forget the current boys already at Leatherhead.
Yeah.
Because they're going to play a massive part as well.
Definitely. Yeah.
So for me, with the players we've already got, with the players I'm bringing in, we're bringing in a good mixture. We're bringing in a squad that's going to be competitive. There will be competition for places, and that's healthy. And whoever puts that Leatherhead shirt on,
definitely,
on the first game in the league, they'll be at it. Everyone will know their jobs.
Yeah.
So for me, it's good times.
Definitely, and it's fantastic. And obviously, I'm excited as well, as you can tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wish you all the best, and all the fans too. We're all loving it at the moment. So good luck, Sammy, and hopefully next season we might be in the Conference South.
Cheers. Thank you.
Brilliant. Cheers, Sammy.